What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner review, and today we're talking about Maritime Strategist Nichol, not Maritime. I literally got up this morning, and you guys will see my news video from yesterday, and I thought this was M-E-R-I. So Merry, like Merry Christmas, like I'm having a merry time, like he was just having the greatest time ever. No, like Maritime or Maritime, I actually don't know how to say that word, but it means like the commanding of the sea, something with water, something with strategy with water, I guess, like leading in the sea or something like that. So totally misunderstood that word, because I mean, not really that word, like I knew what that word was, but I didn't know, I thought it was M-E. Okay, I thought it was M-E-R, all right, thank you to the comment in the comment section that told me that was wrong, and I just wanted to kind of redeem myself there for a bit. All right, so we're going to talk about this banner and why it's pretty much OP, mostly for the 5-star base. But we'll get into this, starting with Chara. We've already seen her before, so we're going straight into our 6-star headband. It's okay. It's whatever. We're going to skip over that. Moving on down, we're talking about Maiden's Dance. Inflict Charm, 15% chance, so that's not good. Increase physical damage against dragons, 50%, and increase limit burst fill rate, 4 to 6 to 1 ally. Increased magic damage. So this is what I was talking about in the initial review on the news video, is that this will be pretty good if you're hating on dragons. You need to take down a dragon pretty quick. Looking at Bahamut, if you guys haven't gotten him yet, slap this on, cast it the first turn that you guys are going to be actually doing damage, and this will increase your damage even more, giving you 50% more damage against them. So that's pretty nice. Another thing I want to look at here is she does have revive 1 KO'd ally. She does have a raise. It's something you guys can look into using. It's not the best. So overall, just not really impressed with her 6-star. Let's make sure this isn't something insane. Nope. So nothing really too special there. Again, if you want to go against a dragon and use her, you surely can. Moving on to Merrill, the kitty cat with the big old axe that has lightning on it, the thunder axe, Koronos. Attack 120, lightning element put on this axe. So again, I don't think this is a TMR you farm immediately, but maybe in the future it could have its uses. Lightning isn't that often put on high attack weapons, so this is something you guys can look into using, and then maybe there'll be an axe wielder out there one day where you'll want that on there. So that's what I'll say about that. Other than that, this unit, this is literally all it has. I can fit every ability it has into one little scroll page right here. Wait, there you go. That's it, and none of it's good. So we're going to skip over it and not worry about it. You're not going to be really using this unit at all. Let's look at Elbis. Now, Elbis looks like if Setzer decided he was going to be a badass even more so and wield a flaming sword. I kind of see some Setzer inside of Elbis. Anyway, he has a great trust mastery. Now, this is what I've been waiting on. When I read this, I actually got hyped. Like, I read the news before I do my video, and I was really excited. Attack 125, great sword with the fire element attached. Fire resist plus 15%. Now, guys, I missed out on getting Vargas, and I'm unsure if they'll ever bring him back. I'm sure eventually we might have another chance, but I didn't get to get that awesome great sword that was 130 attack. And this great sword, while sacrificing 5 attack, allows us to have a little bit of fire resistance in our back pocket, which I like quite a bit. So definitely a farmable TMR. I'm going to be getting that TMR when I need a fire weapon. CG Hyo, again, I'm probably never going to say that name right. I'm looking at you. I think he needs a fire great sword. I want to use it with him. Moving on down to the abilities, again, not that many. I can fit it all into one little thing here. Nothing really too crazy. His best move says randomly use, and when we see that, unless it's Setzer kind of damage, we're out of here. But he does look like Setzer, so maybe it'll work out. Nah, I doubt it. So not a very good unit overall. Very cool looking unit, though. Moving on to Lexa. Now, Lexa is our first unit we can actually be excited about. Someone we're actually going to be using. Lexa looks amazing. Again, I think her and Elbis look fantastic. They did a very good job on the designs there. Magic Attacker, Black Mage. Elbis was 4-star. She's also going to be a 4-star, so you might have some trouble getting both of them. Let's look at the Trust Mastery. Modish Witch. Increase Magic 40%. And Spirit 20% when you have a Rod on. And that's actually a really good TMR. It's another mastery you guys can, or material you guys can have to throw into your, it's pretty much Rod Mastery, a special kind of Rod Mastery you guys can have. So I would say this is a very good medium to high tier TMR that you guys will probably find a use for in the future. Now, overall, Lexa is going to be dual black magic casting, all right? We're going to go for the Tornado Aoraja, or somebody told me to say Aurora, but like Aoraja. I can't say this word. I'm sorry, Chad. I can't. I'm sorry, YouTube. It's just a word. Ariosia. That's how I want to say it. Ariosia. Tornado and Ariosia. All right. Can you deal with me with that? She's going to be doing the same thing. So, similar to a lot of people out there who are living the life of Barbariccia and Shantoto, or maybe even double Barbariccia, she's like a mini Barbariccia, okay? She's like a little 4-star Barbariccia that can do the whole tornado and then finish with Ariosia. Very, very good, actually. That's going to be useful a lot in the 10-man trials when you have to beat them with magic because they're physical resist, so fuck all your physical damage, people. And I don't know. For me, that just rubs me the wrong way. I want to have to use my magic, people, but not in a way where you're like, use magic or you're not gonna win, kid. Like, I don't like that. Moving on down, let's look at this limit burst. Wind damage, 7.4 times all enemies. Pretty big multiplier there. Increased wind resist 100% for all allies. So that could be useful in a case where, you need some wind resist, but we do have some amazing green mages out there like Sirius and Maria, things like that. Build up our wind resist anyway, so not too worried about that. So overall, I do think that she's going to be a very good, Lexa is going to be a very useful unit for a lot of people out there trying to magic chain when they need to, and also can magic finish when she has double her unit, or maybe her Shantoto or her Barbariccia. Those are her chaining units she can chain with. I like that unit. Pretty good. Moving on to Maritime Strategist Nichol. I'm not going to say Nicole anymore. I'm going to say Nichol. It's going to be really hard for me, though. Nichol, not Maritime, sweet Jesus. Anyway, strategic cape. God, I can't even talk anymore. Defense 40, Magic 52, Spirit 38, MP 20%, Ice and Water Resist plus 50%. A very, very nice pair of robes, if I don't have to say so myself. I would definitely be picking this up. Another thing I want to point out, guys, is 7 stars approaching. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you make a 7-star, the 7 stars have so let's say we take Nichol here, for example, his 7-star. They will get a special bonus if they have their TMR equipped. So that is something else you guys got to start thinking about. When you make a 7-star, maybe if you're thinking about using them on your team, and Nichol is an insane support buffing unit and damage mitigating unit at 7-star, guys. Really, really good. We'll go over that a little bit. I don't want to touch on it too hard until he comes out at 7-star. But they're coming up, so I want to touch on it a little bit. That's something you guys might want to start thinking about, in your head, in the back of your head, like, okay, which units am I going to be using at 7-star? Is their STMR ability good? We'll see that in the future, but that's something to chew on there. Moving on down, let's talk about why he's so amazing. Every one of these things that say stance. I don't know why my camera's freaking out. Cool. It's something with capture in my desktop. Link stance. Use stance skills twice in one turn. So he's going to be able to cast any of these abilities that have stance on them twice in one turn, which is going to be incredible. He has the ability to buff any one stat by 110%, as you can see with the Iron, Furious, Demonic, and Safeguard stance. And then if you do Defense or Spirit, he's going to fill up the Limit Burst gauge of all allies by 1 to 4, which is kind of awesome. And then if you do Furious stance or Demonic stance, meaning attack or magic, your Limit Burst fill rate for all allies for 5 turns, that's a long time, is going up by 150%. Okay? So that's a stance. Those are some stances he can do. Next up, we have Magic Restorative Stance, which is 40 MP to all allies. So I was wondering about his MP, and we'll talk about why in a minute, because his big Soulful Stance here that he could cast. But this only costs 10 MP. So you could double cast this, and he's just netting so much more MP, and your whole team's getting 80 MP. It's actually ridiculous. He's getting 60, the whole team's getting 80. Let's go. He's got dual cast, so he can cast anything twice. That is magic. He's got Duality Stance, increase light and dark resist 70% for 3 turns of all allies. Iceberg Stance, increase ice and water resistance 70% for all allies. Again, these are stances, both of these can be cast in one turn. Boom. Knock out all those elements if you want to do that. Lone Stance, increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 130% for 5 turns to 1 ally. So now this only applies to 1 ally. However, again, he can dual cast it. With his Link Stance, he can dance all the time. So that's going to be like, 2 units getting 130%. Or you could do this. And we'll point out here, we're just going down here to the Soulful Stance. Increase, it's 109 MP is what it's showing here. A lot of MP. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 100% for 2 turns. 2 turns of all allies. Heal 3,000 HP, 9x multiplier split over 2 turns of all allies. So you can cast that first. And then this is 5 turns of all allies. So while that 2 turns is up and everybody's, you're having a little bit safe, you can start casting Lone Stance on your allied members on the off turns. You're not casting other stuff you may need, getting everybody up to 130%. That is something you can do. It's very, very good. We also have Courageous Stats and Fortune Stance. Now, these abilities I'm not so sure on, okay? If you cast Courageous Stance, increase attack and magic 130% for all allies. Cast it on everybody, 130%. As we're talking about, this is 130%. Only attack and magic. But it's going to decrease your defense and spirit by 65% for everybody. So it's very important to watch out for that. Refresh MP, 120 split over 2 turns. That's pretty good. Getting that 60 a turn. Increase defense and spirit 130%, like we said. But then we're going to decrease our attack and magic by 65. And then it's going to add a little heal to it. So overall, I don't know if I'm going to be using these abilities. And I'm also not sure if something would block or remove debuffs. I'm assuming it would remove these. And his Limit Burst does remove attack, magic, spirit, and defense debuffs. But I don't know if you really need to use these 2 moves. They're 50, and maybe somebody has some tips or tricks in the comments below that I haven't seen yet because I haven't got to play with the unit. But it seems moreover that I just want to be casting, like, Soulful Stance, get that heal on everybody to be helping out my healers, and then just start casting Lone Stance. And then this also is here, by the way. This also gets increased to 40% when he becomes 7-star. Mitigate damage taken 30% for 3 turns to all allies. And again, it's a stance. So he can cast that off turn anytime he wants to because he's casting all these different stances. Guys, I don't know how, and then we talked about Soulful Stance already. Just looking over these abilities before going into his passives and other things like his Limit Burst, this unit is absolutely insane due to the fact that he can do everything you need to do as far as MP, buffing up your units, increasing your Limit Burst fill rate, giving you Limit Burst crystals, and then damage mitigation. Again, damage mitigation over everything. Also is joined up with physical damage mitigation, magic damage mitigation, guarding, etc. So this is going to be a ton of stuff you guys can do with him, and he can do it all, baby. And he can do it twice in a turn. It's actually insane. Looking at his passives here, he has MP increase MP 20% and spirit 30% when equipped with a robe. We're throwing a robe on him. Increase magic 30% when equipped with a rod. We'll throw a rod on him. We don't really care about the magic, but he does have some magic abilities. Water God's Grace, recover MP 5% per turn. Increase water percent 30%. So he does have to do Maritime, not Merry Christmas time. So he has water stuff going on there, and it's good that he has the MP recovery. Increase resist to poison, sleep, and petrify. Petrify is a big one there. Use Calm Awareness at the start of battle, and we'll go down and look at Calm Awareness in a minute. Chance to counter magic attacks 20% with Enlightened Guard, and we'll look at Enlightened Guard. So, going on down here, and again, I thought Enlightened Guard was going to be castable, but it actually is a cast that happens if he does the 20% to a magic hit, but probably isn't happening with a magic hit, so this ability probably isn't being cast. Calm Awareness, increase resist to charm 100% to caster. I'm unsure. Maybe you guys can help me out with this. It says use Calm Awareness at the start of battle, increase resist to charm 100% to caster. Why doesn't it just say, you are charm resist? I'm unsure on that unless it was some flavor thing that I don't really know about. It also says to caster, so again, it is to him. It's not like he's doing it to someone else. So maybe there's something weird with this. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't last the whole battle. And maybe that's why. Like, it only lasts a certain amount of turns. And then this ability is probably never being cast, Sally. They increase resist to all elements, 40%, 2 turns, all allies. You're probably never going to get that to go off. Moving on down, he does have Waterja and Blizzaja. My God. I used to be able to talk, guys, I promise. I used to be able to say these words. These big, fancy words that aren't really that fancy. Essentially, he has the Aga spells for water and ice, and then he has the Aja spells with water and ice, where you do them consecutive turns, and then it's like a finishing move, essentially. Hits one time, goes all the way up to a 6 max, dealing mad damage. And he has a little bit of magic on him. You might want to use that in some cases. And then this is another big thing. Ancient Formula. At max, 6-star, baby. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 134% for 3 turns to all allies. Remove all attack, defense, magic, and spirit breaks from all allies. Recover HP and MP 20% to all allies. Very good Limit Burst. The only thing I'm looking out for here is this 36 Big Daddy Limit Burst crystals, and he has no passive, like, High Tide or anything like that, where it gives him the Limit Burst increase. Now, he can do it himself with this right here, but that's, that's just in your back pocket, because, that's 130%, but again, you're using 134, excuse me, if you haven't maxed out. What is it when it's not maxed out? 110. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to max that out if you're going to be using him. But you can see here, you can just do the 100 to everybody, and then start working on your 130 on each ally, because that lasts 5 turns, so you can end up doing all this and then casting MP in there. He has so much stuff that he can weave and drop in and do because of the link stance they gave him. It's absolutely insane. So overall, I'm going to give, CG Marine Strategist Nichol a solid 9 out of 10. Unit is bonkers. The only cons I have for him is that he doesn't break. It would be nice if he could break, but we can't have everything, right? And then let's talk about a 7-star for a little bit. I do believe that his stance here goes up to a 40%. The thing with 7 stars is, guys, is that they eventually get cooldown moves that can only be used they can be used on the first turn in most cases. Sometimes it takes a couple turns for it to turn on. And then they use it and there's a cooldown before you can use it again. We can see a 7-star here. If we look at his Limit Burst, it goes up to 150% to attack Magic Spirit when maxed out. Remove the debuffs and then heal HP. So it goes all the way up to 150% buff AoE. It does take 40. It does increase the Limit Burst up a little bit. He also gets Flood, which is useless as shit at 7-star in my opinion. But then he gets another type of water spell that is similar to the Water Jet spell that can max out at its single target instead of AoE, and it can max out at 12 times multiplier instead of the 6 times. Moving on down, let's go down here to the other 7-star stuff that you guys can see. He has the ability to add water to attacks on someone, so he can single target cast Water Blade Plan. So if someone needs water cast on them, maybe at the beginning of a turn. I wish it was a stance. I wish it was Water Blade Plan stance. You know what I mean? This is the ability I was talking about. If he that's his TMR right here. If he equips his TMR, he gets 100% Confuse Resist, plus 20% defense, HP, and Spirit, and then plus 20% attack, defense, magic, HP, Spirit, MP when equipped with an Esper, which obviously you're going to have an Esper. Or is that 2 Espers? Plus 20% attack, defense, HP, magic, Spirit, MP, equip, Esper. So maybe this adds these bonus stats to the Esper he has equipped. That seems pretty decent. It's hard for me because I have its, like, again, these are 7-star abilities that aren't out in global, so I'm just, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not the JP expert here. And these are the abilities I'm talking about. Available turn 1. Okay, so this is going to be available turn 1 for him. 4-turn cooldown. So if you use this, you have a 4-turn cooldown, 100 MP recovery, and single target remove attack and magic debuffs, and single target 1 turn plus 175% attack and magic, and single target fill 5 Limit Burst stones. Pretty good. And then the next one, available 1 turn, 6-turn cooldown. So in 6 turns, you can use this again. AoE 3-turn plus 150% to attack, magic, defense, and spirit, and fill summon gauge 2 to 4 Esper stones. So you can use this every 6 turns. You can use it on turn 1. Everybody's getting buffed 150% to all stats. That is his Limit Burst right there. Insane, but it's 6-turn cooldown. Available on turn 1, Esper Barrier Formation, 6-turn cooldown. AoE 3-turn, 40% damage reduction, and fill summon rate by 2 to 4. So he also gets 40% damage, as I was talking about, 40%, insane, disgusting. He gets Limit Burst fill rate. This is encouraging tactics. Limit Burst fill rate plus 25%. So his Limit Burst is filling up faster at 7-star. And 50% chance to autocast. AoE fill 1 to 2 Limit Burst stones at the beginning of each turn. So he has a half chance at the beginning of every turn. Not only are they giving him a passive Limit Burst fill rate, he has a half chance at the beginning of every turn to just fill his own Limit Burst by 1 to 2. He's just going to have a chance to be able to do that. It's absolutely insane. His 7-star is phenomenal. And on top of all that stuff, he just gets better after everything we talked about there. So, yeah, so overall, what am I giving this banner? I'm giving it a pull on it, man. I'm going for 7 stars. 7 stars are coming up. I want 7 stars to Nichol in my pocket for later. I know someone asked me, hey, Claic, if I have Ramza Enhanced, I have Roy, I have a couple of those. Do you think I should pull for this unit? Do you think I should pull for CG Nichol? And honestly, I'll tell you exactly what I told him. CG Nichol is above and beyond what those bards can do for you, essentially because the bards are singing, so they're buffing, they're giving you HP replenishment, they're giving you MP, which is amazing, but they're stuck singing that song. They can't do anything else. Whereas this guy buffs you up for several turns, and they can do whatever the fuck else he wants to, whether it be healing, MP management, damage mitigation, using items, maybe if you throw a raise on him or something, you know, from an item, or, you know, give him dual white magic cast with the staff. And I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff he could be doing besides, you know, just singing on each of the turns. So I think he is above and a step beyond what most bards are. And then the 7-star is absolutely ridiculous. So if you want to get the power creep now, if you want your chance at this guy on a banner, I say pull for him. If not, his power creep isn't needed. It's not like you can't use Ramza, Roy, in the way that you're using, you know, in the game right now. And even much into the future, they're going to be good for you guys. It's just that this is the next step. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. So I think, plus a couple of great TMRs, plus a baby Barbarisi on this banner. Very, very cool for a lot of people, and I hope you guys are excited. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you feel about this. And if you're excited for the E3 announcements that have been coming out, and then subscribe for future content. I'll catch you guys in the next video.